Hey guys, and welcome to another stream. I'm back before round four to talk everything SuperCoach. I've never said that before. It turned out all right. I'm pretty happy with that start. I was meant to go on at 6. I did say that on my Twitter, but I had a couple of IKEA things that I apparently had to construct before doing my stream, and turns out that there's nothing more fun than putting together IKEA stuff tired after work. Makes it all the more fun. Also, I did get a camera for today's live stream, so I was going to have me in a little bubble, probably around. Where would I have been? I would have been around this part here, I think. But it turns out that you have to charge those things before before you try to use them. So I'll have a camera next week, and I'll be around here next week. And because the camera will be charged, it is on charge currently, not enough for it to function, unfortunately. So we'll work with that next week. As you can see, I won a few games, only 5 out of my 7 leagues. I'm actually really disappointed with my score last week. My score last week was not really that crash hot. Let's take a look. What was it? It was 2,000. Is it going? I don't think it's going to change. Is it going to show me? Are you just going to. Come on. Do the thing. Do. Hey, I'll just copy. I'll do this. It basically my round last week. I think it was in the 2,100s. It was not a good week. It was just. I know that everyone across the board had a pretty average scoring, an average scoring week. I myself had a very average scoring week. It's not really letting me see. That's all right. Whatever. I scored 2,100 and something points. Not. It wasn't the greatest week. I think it's history. Do I go to history? Yes, there it is. Found it. I'm so used to using the app on my phone. I forgot. Forgot how to use it on the computer. So as you can see, I started off on fire, 2,396. That is the best start to a year that I've ever had. And then, I backed it up with 2,360 the following week. I ended up not picking, what's his name, Neil as captain. I went with McRae, who was vice captain, because, 140 something points. I thought, I'll play the safe option. Had I picked it, it'd be a lot high. Had I picked Neil, it would have been a lot higher than that. 2,135, not very happy with my result, to be perfectly honest with you. I ended up making a few trades last week, which I think panned out. I think they did pan out. I'm just gonna grab my old Twitter, and I think I tweeted about it. If you haven't already, please give us a follow on Twitter. That's where you can do it. I ended up doing what were my trades last week? I ended up posting it here. Here they are. All right, so I ended up getting Hewitt in. I brought him in for Whitfield, and honestly, Whitfield only scored like 95. You love tennis. Hey, Deltras, how are you going? Carly, I mean, how you going? I haven't streamed in a while. Well, I've been streaming the last few weeks, some Supercoach updates. It's been some time, but it's been a long off season. I didn't do round one because I was sick, so it's been a few weeks. But thanks for joining me. I know how much of a Supercoach fan you are. Paul should. You know what? Paul should be watching this. He's in my league and he's not doing very well. He should be watching this and taking my tips, just so you're aware. Just let him know. So I brought in Hewitt for Whitfield. Now, if you haven't already, oh, Paul, there he is. Get good. Your scores are absolutely shithouse this week, Paul. Absolutely shithouse this year. Sorry. You're in my league, and I'm going to be honest. I don't actually. You're playing the guy that came last year, and was winless. And I honestly think he's going to kick your ass this week. I hope you've made some trades because you're looking not great. Not this week. Look at my team now. I can't see your team yet, but I will look at it. I will look at it after the stream. But I think you should take some tips from today, to be perfectly honest with you. Not having the best of. Can anyone see these comments, by the way? I'm just assuming you can see them. But Polly Toast redeemed Oreo. I can't show you Oreo because I explained my camera is not working. I'm going to put the chat. Redeemed Oreo. I can't show you. Where am I going to... How do I put the chat up? I'm going to put the chat up here. That's not how it works. Oh my god, I haven't done this in ages. How do I put the chat up? I haven't used Streamlab in so long. Is that how you do it? No, that's not how you do it. That's how I broke things. That's how you break things. Don't do that. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm just gonna keep doing this for a bit. Add library box. We can't see the Twitch chat on stream. Give me dog. Are you doing it? I am doing it on PC. How do I do this? It's getting a little embarrassing now. Layout, display, mini feed, display, edit. Oh my god, I should have done this earlier. I'm going to say display, mini feed. Is that it? Is that... There. That do it? Did that do it? Did that do it? It's all good. We can set it up for you when we see you next. Just carry on. Fuck me. Yeah, this is really bad. Oh man, I can't do this. Alright, I'm just gonna have to Google this another time. There will be some, I suppose, some chat later on this week. I don't know. I'm just gonna put this here. Do you know what? I have an idea. I'm just gonna chuck this. So it looks like I'm not talking to myself, because that's weird. I'm just gonna chuck this here so people can see what I'm talking about. There are actual people talking to me. There you go. People should be able to see that now. There we go. Just carry on. Thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks. Please do show me that in the future. That'd be really good. I'm just going to bring that like that. And look at that. Everything is now working. I've just done this old school way, which I feel like I can't use a computer. I can. Apparently. Not apparently. I'm just not doing a very good job of it. You have 31 trades left. I have 27. What the absolute fuck have you been doing? Oh my god, you have used... How have you even done... Have you used the boost every round? Holy shit, you're not going to not only have trades left for finals, you're not going to even have trades left for the bye. Anyone watching this right now, do not do what he did. Do not do that. What the fuck? You have to reserve trades. How bad was your team at the start of the year for you to have used that many trades already? This is ridiculous. I won't need to. I have so much skill. No, you don't. I am so frustrated right now. It is. I'm. Holy fuck. Holy shit. You have only 27 trades. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't. I'm taking a snip of that and I'm tweeting it. Hang on. Here we go. I'm taking a snip. That is going on my Twitter later. I'm going to tweet that later. Anyway, I brought Heaney in and Young. Young was shit. But you know what? I'm still confident that Young over here is a player that can actually have an impact this year. He had a shocking game, but you know what? He's still averaging 90 even with that shocking game. I still think that he's got a lot of upside. He still went up in price. He's still got a bit of money to go. His break even is... Where's his break even? It is somewhere... His break even is somewhere. I did see it. And it's not there anymore. But it was there this morning. I should be able to see this, whatever. Anyway, his break even's around the 50 mark. He's going to go up in value. He's projected to go up in 10k. Not my fault. My teacher was shit. Oh, you're right. I was your teacher. In SuperCoach. Well, let me school you some more. Don't make any more trades. Just don't. Just hold off for a bit. Just don't make trades. Just save them for later, please. I actually want to see your team after this stream. I'm just gonna watch it. I'm gonna see your stream after this. Your team after this. I was going to make more trades this week, personally, but I just don't feel as if there are people that are jumping ship way too quickly. From guys like Jibkus, Denowing, McCartan, Hinge, Dixon, Ho, McDonald, Ward, Rochelle. You know, there are guys really jumping ship here. And nice, thanks, Paul. Yay, I got some cheers. Yeah, woo! Yeah, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna give you some of these. You can have these. Thanks, Paul, for the cheers. There you go. Thank you. It's been a while since I've actually streamed, so it's good to have people actually here and watching. But yeah, so I know the first, like, I don't know, how long have we been streaming for? 10 minutes, and I'm gonna be honest, the last 10 minutes, which is terrible. I can't bring Oreo. Come here, come here, Oreo, Oreo, come here. If anyone, this is my dog. Here, you can Oreo breathe, make a noise. Come on, boy, make a noise, make a noise. Did you guys hear that? That's the best I can do right now. Mike, I didn't charge my camera. Make me drink a drink of. Okay, I'll drink a drink of water. Give me a second. Okay, you happy? I drank some water. There we go. All right, cool. Now enough with the points and redeeming the points. Um, I forgot my train of thought. Thanks, Paul. Oh yeah, please don't jump off these rookies yet. I just feel as if there's still more money to be made. Dixon and Ho probably won't play this week. They just most likely won't, but they're only one game away from really skyrocketing in price. West Coast is still a basket case. There's a good chance Dixon will play still. He probably won't, but again, they're one game away. If you've held them this long, just keep holding them. There's still more money to be made. Even Rochelle, I know that he's jumped up in price, and that was a really bad score. But let's be real, he's not going to do. He's most likely not going to do that again. If you've got him on your team and you've held him this long, he's probably projected to go up another 10, 20K after that. So he is a guy that I'm trading next week, because he's still got money to make. I'm personally just waiting it out. Ward, he's still got money to make. McDonald's still got a lot of money to make. DeKnowing's about to hit that threshold, so I hope he plays. Jibkis still has money to make. That was a decent score for his price as well. All of these guys still have cash to make, so just chill. Just chill out, hold them at least another week. I honestly can see these guys making a shitload of cash for the next week or two. So don't jump off them just yet. I'm actually I've made one trade this week. I've actually traded out. I've traded out James Kelly from GWS. Now he wasn't too bad last week. Is it James? It's Josh Kelly. My God, there's just so many Kellys. I forget that it is Josh Kelly. He wasn't too bad. He did go down 13K in price, which wasn't ideal. But look, he's been scoring okay. Like the 116, 117, 81. Even the 81's not terrible. He's gone down in price. It's not ideal. I mean, he played okay, but in reality, I'd like to be keeping him. I really would. But then his teammate in Tom Green is just having such a good year. He's already made the jump of. That's a big jump, by the way. That's a lot of money. But he's projected to go up even higher over the next few weeks. And while Kelly, his BE was 130 this week, there is no way in hell that he's going to reach that BE, which means he's just going to drop value further. This way, I was able to get Green on as he's still increasing in value, and I was able to bank 73K for next week. At the moment, there's really no movements that I really want to make. I honestly think all of these guys are just kind of locked still. I've taken the punt on him. I'm not going to bail on him. I'm not going to bail on Young a week in. It's just not going to happen. I still think Hinge and McCartan have a lot of money to make. I will eventually start, upgrading them. I'm looking at Impey from Hawthorn. I think Impey's back this week, either at VFL level or AFL level. He's already played some VFL minutes. Now he is touted to come back into the AFL side this week. Apparently he was absolutely killing it in the VFL, and Sam Mitchell said that he was playing at an AFL level, running at an AFL level in the VFL. So that is a huge bonus. That is a huge bonus. Personally, I think that Impey's going to play, and if Impey does, I want to trade one of these guys out for Impey. I think that he's going to be a pretty decent scorer again. He's got a bit of injury troubles, but for his price range, I think that he'll be okay, but I'm probably going to wait until he's at that third game bubble just to see how his first two games pull up and whether or not he's going to play 3 games in a row. Miller had a stinker, but you know what? I'm not really concerned. I'm going to go with Heaney as my VC this week. The reason being is because he's he's a player that's just he's a player that's really killed it this year. Apart from last week, he was pretty average last week, but he's playing against North Melbourne, and I'm gonna be honest. The Saturday game, he's playing against North. I have a feeling he's going to score huge against North Melbourne. The other option is I just go with McRae, and that is at 7:25 p.m. at the MCG. At that point in time, I would have already known how Heaney has done, right? I would already have known, and I'm most likely going to use Ho or Dixon as the loophole. We're off to eat. Have a good stream. Thanks, Paul. You too. I'll talk to you soon, and I'm going to look at your team later and teach you how to loophole as well. Because can you just send me a screenshot of your team? I just send me a screenshot. I'd love to see it, please. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Anyway, so I'm probably going to use either Ho or Dixon as. Is it Ho? I'm assuming it's Ho. I'm going to keep calling him Ho. Ho or Dixon as a loophole. Obviously, I haven't decided who is going to be that loophole option just yet, um, purely because I haven't seen the teams haven't been released. They will be released soon though, so that's a good thing. So we'll wait until they are released, and then I'm going to use one of them if Heaney plays great. If Heaney doesn't have a big day, then I'm probably just going to leave the captaincy on McGrath and hope that he plays well. Let's be real. That's what I think is the best option. At the moment, I'm not making any more trades. I've already done my one trade. I'm probably not going to do any for another couple of weeks. I see players that I'm really keen on. I'm really keen on bringing a Max Gawn in. He's already lost money, and let's be real, he's looking like he's already lost 41k. I have a feeling he's projected to decrease in value closer to the mid 500 range. That is a steal for someone like Max Gawn. That is an absolute steal. I can't see Max Gawn scoring poorly for that much longer. Let's see. He bounced back this week, I think. He had 92.88. I mean, these aren't terrible scores. 117 is fairly good. He's most likely going to keep reducing in value. And he's projected to drop to around the 550 range. When he does hit that 550 range, it's going to be the time you pick him up. I'm honestly considering picking him up in a couple of weeks. Wits is expected to keep increasing in value over the next couple of weeks. So my obvious decision is probably going to be, trading out a Rochelle, trading out a Ward, something like that, or a McDonald, and really banking that cash and then upgrading a Wits to a Max Gawn. Wits, look, he's had a pretty good season thus far. 131, that was incredible. 75 was a bit meh. 95 you accept for his price range. He's not. I mean, he's a good player. He's a good player, but not the best SuperCoach player to have. So you just kind of, as I said, you kind of just accept having him there. It was a good pickup. He's not worth bringing in now. I don't think he's not going to make too much more money. I can see him going up another 50k, maybe 60k. I can't see him breaching that 500 mark anytime soon. And if he's not going to breach that 500 mark before Gawn starts going up in value again, if you don't have Gawn, don't pick him up now. Wait till he drops another 50k because it looks like he's going to, and that's when you pick him up. When he's around that price point, he's starting to score in the hundreds. I want to see him score in the hundreds another couple of times, and that's when I'm going to snap him up. Even Grundy's been a bit meh this year. But I'm not gonna jump ship. Yeah, he's gone down in value, but that's fine. Him, McRae, and Miller. These are the sort of guys that you just keep. They weren't there to make money. These guys were there to score well, and apart from last week, they've been scoring pretty well. They've all been regularly in the over 120 plus. So I'm just going to keep them. Obviously Dunkley, Caniglio, all these guys, they're just. I'm actually really happy with my team right now. I feel confident in it. Horny and Dacos, they've really jumped up in value. So, these are the sort of guys that you're probably going to hold long term, or maybe not long term, maybe mid year, and then you bail on them. They're going to push for the 400 mark. They really are. They're both averaging 80. That's pretty good. They're going to push for that 400 mark, and that's when you're likely going to jump ship, personally. So right now, as I said, this week I'm only making a Tom Green trade. I personally believe that Heaney is the best option for VC. The other player obviously is Lockie Neal, but Lockie Neal was pretty much covered last time he played Geelong last year, and that was before his injury. I Lockie Neal's an interesting one. You've got Clayton Oliver here, who loves playing in Adelaide. If you've got Clayton Oliver, put the VC on Clayton Oliver and then try to loophole, because I have a feeling Clayton Oliver's going to score in the 150 plus. Honestly, he loves playing in Adelaide, and he is playing in Adelaide against Port Adelaide, who absolutely suck this year so far. So I'd be really looking at that. This is the first year I actually don't have Clayton Oliver in my team. He is a good player, and he's a player that I plan on bringing in. Likely a guy that I do intend to have by the end of the year. I just don't have him right now, and he's just gonna. I think he's gonna smash Port Adelaide. But if you don't have Oliver, Heaney, I honestly think, or Neil, these are the guys that I honestly think are going to be the best options for VC. I'm gonna go with the Heaney. By the time by the time this game even begins, 3 quarters would have passed here, and I would have known if Heaney is trajected, if Heaney is entering over 100 points. If Heaney hasn't dominated by 3 quarter time, hasn't hit that 100 mark at 3 quarter time, then I'm just gonna stick with McGrath as captain, and I'm not gonna loophole. But I'm mostly gonna loophole Ho or Dixon. If Ho and Dixon are named, then there's no loophole. You just stick with McGrath, because the last thing you need is one of these guys being the medical sub and then getting subbed on 5 minutes remaining of the game and scoring 2 points, and you getting your captaincy at 2 points. I've seen it, and it's shit. It feels terrible. So don't do that. Now I'll move on to my draft league. Now this is interesting. See, my draft league has not done well. It's just not. My draft league has just been pretty meh. I just haven't had. I mean, this is the first time I've ever done my draft league, and I've given it a crack, and I thought I had a pretty good team, but I've been hit really hard with the Perth outs. I've had some huge differences, massive differences from last week to this week. I've decided to just basically go nuts at the trade table, and I brought in a lot of players. I brought in Wilkie, who's actually been in some pretty good form. I'm just gonna bring him here. This is it. Look at these scores: 77, 85, 89 for a mid, and he's not expensive if you're looking at a classic. He's not doing very bad. He's doing all right. Personally, I think that's a consistent play, especially if you're in your draft league. You've got Roughhead that's just come back. He has been. There was an article earlier this week, a couple of days ago, that released on the AFL website that spoke about Roughhead being back this week. So hopefully he comes in. So I brought him in. He was a free agent though, so I brought him in. Martin, we don't know how long he's going to be, but I'm going to hold on to him. Phillips, I brought him in too. It's 84. I'm happy. That's a good score for his first game back. Green is only a couple of weeks away. I've also brought in Taranto. I traded out Luke Ryan. So I've traded out Luke Ryan and Tim Kelly for Taranto and Werpel. That is a play. This is a play that will either pay off or just completely bomb. I brought in D. McKenzie, another player that is actually scoring pretty well. His 60 obviously was kind of met, but then 89 and 91 for a mid, it's not bad. For your draft league, I'm not saying pick McKenzie and Wilkie up for in classic, but for your draft league, these are the sort of guys that most likely aren't in anyone's team. And if they're not, get them. Like seriously, just get them because they're doing all right. They're doing all right at the moment, and you may as well. Um, Now, I've actually traded out Brody Grundy, who was my first pick. I had pick 3 in my draft league, and I've traded him out for O'Brien, who's been killing it. He's actually scoring about the same as a Grundy. I'm pretty sure Grundy's scoring. Let's take a look. What was he? His average is 107. O'Brien's average is 108. He's actually scoring better than Grundy. So I've traded Grundy for O'Brien and Rose. Now, Rose is not a Rose. I don't know. Rose. He's not a player that has been killing it this year. He's actually scored pretty ordinary. 25, 48, 75. I mean, he's getting better. But if you look at last year, he actually scored pretty average last year as well. And then all of a sudden, bang, 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 bang. He started averaging in the mid 80s around after the bios. And even a few weeks before that, he was scoring kind of well too. He starts slow and then he finishes strong. I personally think that I've done well. I brought in Jack Darling as well. He scored 80 last week. Again, I wouldn't pick him for your classic team, but if he's sitting there as a free agent, 36, 80, he's not averaging very high, but Fremantle are a decent team. He's playing against Collingwood this week. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the 80s again. Again, if the draft league and classic, two very different things. Two very different things. And honestly, these are the sort of guys you've got to be looking at. You've got to be looking at a Darling who can still score around that mark in your forward line. You have to be looking at like Kenzie, Wilkie. These are the sort of guys that people don't think about. Werple, people don't think about these guys. And if they turn around and they score, 91, 89, 80, you've done all right. You've done okay. Now we don't know if Sarong's going to be back this week. Let's see if teams are out actually. Let's take a look. That's fantastic. Let's see if teams are out. Teams should be. Here we go. Teams. So let's see. Okay, so we're already aware of that. Yeah, I'm really glad I didn't pick Skinner at the start of the year. He didn't play very well in the preseason, and yeah, he was cheap, but I'm just glad I didn't take that punt, to be perfectly honest with you. So Geelong, Connor out, Selwood and Higgins. Okay, fair enough. And let's take a look. Brisbane, Fultron from McCready and Sharp. Okay, not bad. Let's see. Sydney, Ladhams is a player that I'm going to keep an eye on. He's a forward ruck. I'm going to keep an eye on him for my classic league. Now, unfortunately, I did miss him. I did miss him when it came to my draft league. He was a player that I really wanted. But Ladhams is the sort of guy, he's a ruck forward, 415,000. 2020, he was a pretty good scorer, right? He's the sort of player that you should really be thinking of come a few weeks, because if he plays well over the next 2 games, bring him in for that third game, because Naismith, he's not playing again this year. He's just not, right? Hickey's gone for about 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Hickey's gone, and then you've also got Sinclair. Sinclair's injured too. This guy is taking on all of the ruck role for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and that is fantastic. And he's listed as a forward. You may as well take the punt. I personally will be likely bringing him in if he starts scoring well. He's a guy that I had not last year but the year before, and I really, really benefited having in my forward line when he was at Port Adelaide. So Ladhams comes in for his first game for Sydney. Dylan Stevens has been omitted. I've dropped him from my draft league. Probably disappointing for anyone that has him in their classic. I didn't go with a Stevens. I went with a Ward, and I think it worked out. Good to see him back. That could be interesting. Boner omitted. Powell, Carr, Ford, Pollock out again. he's the sort of player that doesn't get a lot of mentions. He can score big, so he's the sort of guy. Keep an eye on him. He's been killing it in the VFL, so it's good to see him back. Brown, Wilson, Taylor Adams, health and safety protocol. Degoe's just honestly, we talk about Kmart, Dustin Martin, and then he really is I think Kmart. He's not even Kmart Dusty. Someone's at my house. All right. Well, thanks for guys for watching the stream. I guess that's me. I'll see you guys next week.